Hey, Julianne.
Hi, how are you?
I am so wonderful. I adore your work. I've been such a fan for such a long time. So, this is such a treat for me to speak to you
That's so nice.
today.
Thank you.
Oh, you are a beast, girl. I'm waiting for you to get your due because it's overdue.
Ah,
Overdue.
okay, I'm done. Thank you.
Thank you and good night.
Oh, that's so nice. Thank you.
Oh, you're very welcome. This film really struck me because I am really close to my mom. Me and my mother are like this, and the complexities of mothers and daughters and the relationships are everything. But Lucy was on a whole nother trip. So
Yeah.
when that opening scene, right, when she calls you and says, I'm going to kill myself if you don't come get me, did you ever have a moment like that with your parents where you were like on some camping trip or a overnighter or whatever, and you were just like, I need y'all to come get me. I can't take it.
I I feel like, back in the 70s, that wasn't really an option. You just had to suck it up, right? Like there was no,
Right?
it was
You're right.
it was a different time. But that does remind me of I was walking home from school. I might have been in kindergarten, which is also what you did, you know,
Yep.
to go. You walked yourself home, even if it
Let
meant
yourself in the
crossing the
house,
street. Yeah,
made your
exactly.
lunch, made
And so I walked home with a friend, a boy in my class. He invited me over, but then like he went inside to ask if I could come over, but then never came back out. So I was like waiting. This is like 5-year-old behavior, right? So I was like waiting for him to come back out, and so didn't make it home. And then my mom like sent our across the street neighbor to go looking for me in the neighborhood. And when I saw him coming down the street in his truck, I suddenly knew that he was looking for me. And then so I hid because I thought I suddenly like the whole thing makes sense. When you're a kid, nothing makes sense, and then it all dawns on you. And I hid to try to like, and then I remember it's the only time I got like a little spanking because my mom like slapped me because she was so scared. It wasn't a painful slap. It was like a real
it was
scared.
out of
I,
fear for her.
I got it wrong. I was a
Yeah,
little
it was out of fear for her.
person.
She just didn't know what to do with her hands.
Yes,
It's like,
yes, yes, exactly, exactly.
yeah, I had one of those myself. I'll tell you about it sometime.
Okay.
You will howl when I tell you mine. Um, what would you say at 11? Because I vividly remember being 11 years old. What would you say for you was the most difficult thing about navigating being an 11-year-old girl during the 70s? Because like you said, it was a different time.
Yeah. Well, I'm gonna get real with you. So my parents were divorced, and when I was 11, I decided that I should maybe go live with my dad for a while. And that was really painful to like, I don't know where that came from necessarily in my 11-year-old mind, but it was sort of having the world on my shoulders and feeling like I could fix things or I could take care of people. Or I think that you feel like you have so much power when you're that age. Um, and you don't or shouldn't, or, I think it's a really amazing time. And I also remember it very vividly, moments of that age. I remember music, I remember feelings, I remember we used to have these things that you could put onto like the back pocket of your jeans that like said your name, these like little
I
clip-on
remember a little, mhm.
ribbons and barrettes, and it's still very vivid. I feel like I remember more when I was 11 than I do when I was like 28, quite honestly.
Girl, I'm right there with you. Isn't that funny?
Yeah.
That's really funny. There's this quote that you had when you were lying in the bed with Lucy, and I just want to know what you think about it in terms of your personal life, where you say, I always had the knowledge that I could make any man fall in love with me if I tried, and I think it's ruined my life. And then Lucy asked you, well, why don't you stop doing that?
Yeah.
When you think about your life as Julianne and navigating dating and all of that, how how does that quote how do you make that quote applicable to your life or not?
How I think about it for Janet is that if you always think you can have anyone, then is anyone good enough? or are you ever happy, satisfied with what you have if you think you can do it again with someone else? And I also feel like it set her on this path of always seeking validation from outside, which you can never get.
That's deep. Get it, Julianne. That was, I would say that was right on time. And Janet's choices, honey, in relationships and friends were a little sketchy. So what you said falls right in line with your character because she was a little sketchy, if I'm
Yeah,
being
I
honest.
know she's not necessarily thinking the things through all the time.
Well, that is my time, but I so enjoyed talking to you. I wish we had a little bit longer. I have so many other questions and things I wanted to get into, but we'll
Hopefully
do it
we'll have
some other
another, I
time.
was going to say we'll have another chance. And I'm dying to hear your story about when you got it wrong as a young lady, as a little
Oh,
kid.
girl. Oh, girl.
Uh,
Oh,
well, you made it through.
I can't. If they stop recording, I can tell you real quick, but I can't tell you now.